Okay, let's get started. This file. Okay, welcome to SEGR 4142 or EMGT 5142, Reliability Management and Survival Analysis. Okay, and in the past, there's 2 courses, but in reality, the math involved are exactly the same. So I just decided to combine the 2 together. If you're doing epidemiology, insurance, any biological data is survival analysis. If you're doing electronic, mechanical, car, airplane, is reliability analysis. Okay, and again, most of my courses are combo, grad, undergrad, so that's the way how it's going to work. And in the past, okay, I just say that, I always share my videotape with with everybody, and I'm gonna still doing the same things, but especially, people said that when I run SAS, we're going to use SAS code, and doing Excel, sometimes people complain it's really too fast, but when you replay, you can always check and figure out what's going on. Okay, so I will still upload those things. And the other thing is that there's no in-class exam. It's basically 12 take-home exam or 12 homeworks, okay? And no final exam. But on the other hand, supposed to be labor intensive, okay? And usually the homework due on Monday midnight. But besides you submit your material, the code, your SAS code, your Excel code through Canvas, on Tuesday class, I probably will ask you to give me a paper summary about what you did for the exam. I use that to control the attendance. And today I will just ask, you guys sign your name and 800 number. So that way I know who's here, who's not here. Because of COVID, okay, I'll be honest with you. What do you guys think? The grade distribution in the last 3 years due to COVID, is grade deflation or inflation? Pretty bad inflations, okay? And what is my concern? My concern is that I hope you guys, after you take my class, or some of you have my class before, you feel like the stuff I give you is useful. I show you how to solve certain way to do certain problem. You can use it, for your co-op intern and, do it for real life. So I feel guilty if, the tricks I ask you to learn and you copy somebody else's homework or you're not actually learning it. The stuff I teach you, it's like, I personally think it's like riding bicycle. Once you get it, you think it through, you'll know how to do it continuously. I'm not a statistician, okay, or I don't claim I'm an operation research guy, but at the same time, I use those techniques. Basically, if you think through those steps with me, you follow the logics, you should get to the same answer, okay? And so the take-home exam probably usually involves 2 parts. First part, follow what I did in a class. So if I give you Excel, you duplicate that Excel. I give you a SAS, you duplicate that SAS. Basically, you know what you're supposed to get. And the second step will be, I'll say that either you fabricate a data set, or I will give you extra credit if you can go online, or from your company where you work, find a data set, and then use the real world data set. As long as you give me the source, so I can double check and repeat the same procedure one more time, so I know you actually done it. Okay, and the material, except today, okay, today's first lecture will be a lot of brainstorming, basically try to give you that flavor. But after today, most of the time, it's very computational oriented. Everything is based on a bunch of numbers, okay? So far, so good? Okay, so let's I'll give you 3 stories. Think with me, okay? And each one of them, it's kind of like, a little challenging, maybe to your belief, but that's not the point. The point is that at the end, I want you to argue with me why this is important and why this is different from some of the stat or OR courses you have before. Okay? So story number 1. There are 6 people, okay, including yourself. This is from a Harvard professor's books in legal document. But we're not talking about a legal side. We're just saying that you and your 5 other friends, okay, went out for explorations, explore a cave. And then, just go down, try to check, the bad cave or whatever. Suddenly, earthquakes, the cave collapsed, and you, or 6 of you got trapped underneath in the cave. There's some water, so you can get some water. But the trouble part is that, the walkie-talkie is dying, and people figure out how deep you guys got trapped. They said that, well, can I get you out? Okay? So we're going to dig a manhole using a boring machines, but that probably take a couple months to reach you. Okay? So what is the problem? You have water, you have air, but you don't have food. Okay? So it's survival analysis now, right? One of your classmates just pour out a dice, luckily, okay? And let's assume it's a fair dice, okay? And he said this, so one of us need to sacrifice. If we don't, we all need food, so let's use the dice to decide who should be sacrificed. Choose this, who got the smallest number, okay? And you can argue with me for anything else after the class. Now I'm just want you to think as a system engineer. Here is your challenge. Do you play the game or not? You follow me? Well, if you don't play, you die. How many of you will play the game? How many of you not going to play the game? Okay. You're the outlier. You start first. Why?
Well, to be honest, I would say no just from an ethical point of view.
Okay.
But statistically speaking, you would, of course, have a chance to survive if you played the game versus if you didn't play the game.
Mm-hmm.
Guarantees.
Okay. But anybody else? Anybody want to change your mind and say that, nah, I don't want to play the game. But I want you to come up with a statistical answer, not the ethical answer, to say, no, I don't want to. Okay, Victoria, why you want to play? Why you will play the game? Okay. Okay. Grad student, why you play the game? Okay, but obviously this is a survival analysis class, right? So what is the assumption? If you have a fair dice, 1, 6, 1, 6, 1, 6, the chance you get the smallest number is what? 1, 6, right? How many of you think that the 6 classmates, they all are gonna die at the same time? So we just randomly pick one. If we just wait, some are older, Some are weaker, some are stronger. Are they all going to die at the same time? Or the initial survival conditions different? So some might die early, some might die late, right? So who shouldn't play the game, for sure? If I consider myself got a pretty physically strong conditions, I look around, I'll say that I'm not going to die first. Why should I play the game, right? Who should play the game? There's someone who's, my conditions are not good. I need compensation. So, what is the take-home message about this story? What is the take-home message about this story? Well, that's one. So it's initial condition, given what condition to talk about survival. What is the second critical things? How many of you already take ARENA simulation class? You have all kinds of distribution, right? Like 1616 is a uniform distribution, right? Do you really believe everything is uniformly distributed? How many of you think that everything is exponentially distributed? Arrival rate is exponential. No, arrival rate is, arrival rate is Poisson distribution, and waiting time in between is exponential, okay? I always talk about this. My first job after I finished my undergrad, I worked for airlines industry. Nothing in the real world I ever encounter follow Poisson distribution. But on the other hand, I'll tell you that later on, I still use that all the time because that's a critical step to use. Okay? And the other distribution is normal distribution, central limit theorem. It's also the case when I actually worked for my second job after I finished my PhD. I worked for an insurance company. Well, the airline is United Airlines. The insurance company is Liberty Mutual. Okay, this is on my resume, so I'm not ashamed to talk about those companies. A big company. The things I'm trying to say is that at Liberty Mutual, I never seen anything look like normal distributed. The bell shape never there. Okay, even you're using central limit theorem, you always see some tail for some reason. Okay, and I'll explain some of those assumptions later. But the take-home message about this 6 people story is what? Don't trust your distribution. Don't trust any assumption about this distribution. And evaluate the initial conditions first. Okay? That's very, very important. So distribution is, I basically tell you, you should put a question mark. Okay? Now, second story about severity. Okay? I'll give you the situation first. You guys probably heard this before. And this is kind of interview questions in the old days for any management job. It's basically you is the only one can swim. And, Titanic situation, you can only save one more person, either your mom or your spouse or your kid. Who should you save? That is the management questions trade-off, right? But before I talk about that, I give you a joke version. Okay, you and your buddy driving a car in the middle of the night, okay, and thunderstorm, terrible weather, and now you saw an old lady in trouble, need a ride to the hospital, and there is this, to be genderly balanced, either a handsome guy or pretty young lady, or you would like to date, and now it's your questions. What should you do? Give the young lady or young man or the old lady a ride. And the IQ test is basically said that, give up the trucks, let your friend drive the old lady to the hospital, to the emergency room. So you have the opportunity to date somewhat, okay? But that's not the versions I would like you to think about. It's the version about who you're going to save. How many of you will save your mom? Okay, no. Again, okay, this is first class. I'm not trying to, there's no right or wrong in the answer. I'm just trying to force you to think about this. So later on, when I monkey around with the math and statistics, you don't feel like we're just doing math. We're doing stuff to explain, model the reality. Yeah? No. This time, give it a right as the old lady story. Now I'm saying that the Titanic situation, you're going to save either your mom, your kid, or your spouse. Okay? So, how many of you will save your kid? How many of you will save your spouse? Okay. So now we'll go from you again. Why you choose your spouse? There's no right or wrong answer. I just need your justification.
So I said spouse because if we're assuming this was a survival situation, I feel like somebody around your own age would be like the best chance to survive.
Okay, so for your age, save the spouse. For my age, forget about a spouse. Okay, but how many would save the kid? Why?
I don't know. I think if you ask me again, I would change my answer. But I just think I can not control my kid more, but they'll listen to me, and so I think we could work together.
You believe kid will listen to you?
Maybe.
but okay, that's a good answer. Again, I will give you the justification just like the 6 people, okay? My basic attempt here is ask you to think that all the statistic, probability model, stochastic model you have to be careful how you apply it, okay? So you save the kid because kid's easy to control. And the other thing I can complement that will be usually kids is lighter, probably easier to save. Mom probably not as easy, right? Depends on the, how comply mom gonna be. How many of you would save the spouse? I'm sorry. How many would you save? Yeah, we already saved the spouse. We already saved the kid. Who's gonna save the mom? Okay, why?
Mostly because I don't have a spouse or a kid, so at the moment if I'm thinking about it logically, I'm just gonna go for my mom.
Okay, so I'll let you argue this as a system engineer even more. Okay, mom, kid, and spouse. Which one is irreplaceable? Mom, right? Okay, so that's the value of the system, right? Kid, probably lighter weight, easy to execute, right? So what about spouse? Basically, if you save your spouse, you could have another kid, right? So that will be the reason. I'm not saying which one is the right answer, but every decision about survival analysis is triage, right? Save this one, or save this one, or save this one. And later on, I'll show you guys certain things, is that prioritize. I have limited resources, who should I cover? Okay, let me put it this way, okay? Let's say that I'm willing to give 2 hours of my personal time to help you guys do the take-home exam, okay? And I can decide, I can help the A+ student, I can help the B student, the C student, or the F student. Who should I help in reality? Yeah? The D, the F student? The student gonna flunk the class? Okay, how many of you agree with her? If I can provide extra help, I should help the F student. D, okay. Okay. How many of you would like to save the A student? Help the A student? Nobody. Why? The A student will be fine with or without me. Why I waste my extra resources? They don't have survival issue. B student probably the same thing. But for the F student or D student, there's a big difference. If someone, skip classes, never show up, not doing anything, with or without my helps, they're gonna flunk anyway. Should I waste my time? So who should I do? Do the survival analysis should be what?
Well, just, I guess that, like, the F student might be on help at that point, but, like, the C, D student could be help at that point.
So what you're really saying is that, okay, if I do something, I can move them from below the threshold to above the threshold. That's the most effective, efficient investment on allocating my resources for reliability and survival analysis. Agree? Okay, and that is the point. And that is the point about saving mom, saving kid, and saving, the same thing is that, number one, you want to make sure the survivability is the highest. You want to make sure that, you can do something about it. The value will be the highest, right? And like I said, the spouse depends on the, well, of course, if you remember Titanic, the movie, the romantic part is the old couples, dance, and they just decided to just, went down with the ship, right? Okay, so far so good. You guys can visualize the 6 cave story and why I argue about the 6 people in the cave. You guys can argue saving mom, saving kid. It could be your interview questions. Who knows? You got interviewed by Liberty Mutual or Traveler. One of the insurance companies said that, okay, you take reliability analysis. Give me how you assess stuff. They probably can give you a finite integral on some of the problem, but they probably just want to see if you can elaborate your decisions. Okay? Last one, okay? One more story for today's lecture. Okay? You're dating, and you have 2 candidates, 2 boyfriends, 2 girlfriends, or just 2 friends. Okay, depends on whatever you would like to label them. But you just have 2, okay? 2 choices. Maybe too many for you, and maybe, not enough for you. I don't care. But you're just dating 2 candidates, candidate A and candidate B. Again, this time, each one of them you date 6 times. You heard this one before? Okay. I never talked about this in the other class. Okay, that's good. Now, the first candidate, okay, 6 times. Every time's 10 minutes late, 10 minutes late, 10 minutes late. Totally, every time is 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. 6 dates, 16 minutes late, total waste. Okay? Candidate B, okay, you date 6 times, on time, on time, on time. But one time is 60 minutes late. Okay? So if you look at the total cost, the same, 60 versus 60. Are they equally good, equally bad, or you consider you have preference among one, A or B?
I would say that first one.
You like the first one?
Because you could just adjust the time, right?
Okay. So from now on,
It's like-
turn your clocks 10 minutes late. Hey, I'll see you 4:10, but you're not going to show up until 4:20.
Yeah, it's basically
Okay.
what I do with my friend right now.
Okay, so you just find a mechanism to deal with that. Okay, so he or she is bad, but she's reliably bad, right? Okay, consistent on that one. How many of you would like to date the second one? Yeah. Okay. Why? Well, but here's the things. What you're saying is that it's reliable, but one big surprise, right? You need to figure out why there's a big surprise. You know, a traffic accident, something, you know, Mother Nature. But if it's not, it's just, you know.
I mean, if it was a choice to be 6 minutes late, that's different. But if it was like an accident, then that's
Okay.
something out of the control.
I agree, but at the same time, you're an engineer. You make decision based on evidence, based on investigation, not based on speculation, right? So now let me give you the challenge. Okay, so how many like the 10-10-10, like candidate A? Okay, how many like candidate B? Still 2? Okay, now I'm going to change the game rule for them first, okay? The 10-10-10 one now decided to be 12-12-12. So consistently 12 minutes late. Now, statistically, or based on the sum of the number, is 72 minutes waste. So it's 72 versus 1 times 60. You still go with A?
Yeah.
Okay, what if is 120 minutes, 2 hours late every time?
Then
2 hour, so 2 hours is not tolerable. 1 hour? Tolerable? 30 minutes tolerable?
yeah, 30 minutes would probably be.
So 30 minutes for 6 times is 180 minutes waste. For you, 180 is good. Your 180 is better than the 1 times 60. You still feel that way? I'm not trying to force you to make the decision because sooner or later, you know my tricks. I'll say that 30. How about 29? How about 28? So all I'm trying to say is that if we're talking about time, we're talking about money. In reliability, it's expected value. It's not really that 60 minutes. It's the potential of that 60 minutes in one shot or 30 minutes in a repeated way. Okay? So the number is not expected value by itself. It's not a value. It's an expected value. Okay? And now to the 2 young ladies on this side. 1 times 60, you said is tolerable. It should be investigated. How about 2 days late? 48 hours. Mission impossible, right? Okay, what about how much you think that I'll give him or her a chance? You know, okay, let's just say that you investigate and there's no clear reason. It's not Mother Nature. Just, you know, he or she decided show up late this time. Yeah, but if that time just keep dragging longer and longer, when you think that will be a turning point and say, this is too much, I'm not going to tolerate this. How long you been, you ever wait for someone, how long? 5 seconds? Never, nobody, okay. But you guys follow my questions? Is not the number, is what is a tolerable number, okay? So let me repeat this one more time. In this class, we're talking about expected value, but it's a conditional expected value. The distribution is not a distribution by some assumption. It's a distribution based on your data, based on your observation, okay? And then the severity and frequency. A lot of time, we will find some sort of trade-off. Okay, you can take the notes here, is that usually if something is very, very frequent and very, very severe, you should avoid that. Because it's frequent and severe, you do it, you're a reckless teenager. You risk your life for no reason. On the other hand, it's this low frequency and low severity. Usually you tolerate. You know, not going to happen often, and if it happens, it's not really a big penalty. if it's a if it's a high severity, it doesn't happen all the time, but if it happens, it's a major penalty. Okay, but the frequency is very low, and usually we'll buy insurance, and we'll find some insurance policy for that. Finally, if something just annoying keep happening again and again, 10 minutes late, 10 minutes late, 10 minutes late, but low severity, then you need to do some mechanical management scheme to change that. Change your clock or do something about it, okay? So can you visualize high frequency, high severity, low? It's kind of like a 4-quadrant, you know, when you will buy insurance, when you will tolerate, when you will do stuff, okay? So this semester, we're gonna go through the math, and every time when we go through the math, we're pretty much talking about risk or reliability or survival, based on survival analysis, okay? And in the beginning, I will talk about a lot about probability theory and from Bayesian approach to non-Bayesian approach. And the distribution I'm talking about is exponential, Weibull, log normal, gamma distribution with a lot of parameters. Okay, I'll introduce a concept. This is a very important concept. It's called conditional value at risk. Means that, you know, when you're going to take certain actions, okay? You wait, and you said, no, I'm not going to wait anymore. I need to do something about this. So there is a, you know, how much risk, how long is too long, that kind of argument. How many of you ride motorcycle? Okay. Do you change your oil? Change your oil? What's the mileage you, what? Okay. What's the mileage usually you change your oil for motorcycle? Huh? 3 months? Okay. Okay. 1,000 kilometer? Okay. If you don't change 1,000 kilometer, you wait till 1,100. Would that be too much? It's probably still fine, right? 12? 15? Okay, so this is a conditional value at risk, is that when you consider, this is too much, right? So this is still like, okay, wait 60 minutes, wait 70 minutes, when you consider, I'm not going to tolerate this anymore, okay? So we will do an integral, okay? Not based on PDF, based on CDF. Conditional, based on the cumulative distribution. And most of the work, I will show you an Excel version. So the beauty about Excel is what you see is what you get. And so you can visualize what's going on. Once you learn how to do that, we'll turn into SAS, okay? Yeah?
Question about SAS. So I just tested it, and it looks like my SAS is expired. I don't know how to.
No, just download another version.
Okay, can you post that link of where to get it?
To go to SAS.com.
I don't know.
Well, there's one more. I'm going to check with the 213 in Cameron. I'll make sure Cameron 213, they have the SAS available.
Okay, because Mosaic Anywhere has SAS, but it's also outdated.
Okay, I'll nag them too.
Okay.
Okay, but I think we need to give school some credit right now because COVID, people coming back, a lot of stuff, they just need time to update it. And you know, I usually use Excel till you fully visualize everything, and I switch. So we have time to learn how to do that. Okay. Once a while, I encounter students say, "I don't like SAS. I want to use R." Fine with me. If you want to use R, use R. But you know, the key things is that you need to give me the right documentation so I can verify. Okay. And we will do Kaplan Meier live table. This is our insurance approach, how to ensemble data, okay? And like I said, this kind of stuff can be used for electronic, can be used for power, could be used for banking. As long as you have a time series data, I can play with it, okay? And after that, we'll do some trade-off, and basically how late is too late. We'll do a calibration, and the magic word we're going to talk about is called just noticeable difference. And we use the just noticeable difference to make the cut. And basically, I can talk about some of the modern data mining approach. And for example, there are PR firm in DC. They will tell Donald Trump or Biden, for this group, say this to this point, dress this kind of shirt, wear this kind of color of tie. Basically, how to keep your profile low or make your profile high, what is just noticeable, okay? And I will talk about some of the optimization approach after I cover all those stuff. And finally, the two things I'll cover at the end is combination of the two. One is called Chauquet integral, one is called copula. And copula basically is like you have 2 or 3 heavy tail distribution, how to combine several distribution into one, become a joint distribution, okay? That is the material I would like to cover. Okay, I think that's what I'm planning to cover today. And I want everybody write a 1-page, no more than 500 words, why you want to take this class, okay? And just a simple statement, why you think this class will be useful, in what way to you, okay? Don't write this, I want to save my mom, okay? Write basically go Google a little bit based on my syllabus and say that, oh, I can apply this for, I work for an airline, right? How to come up with an airline schedule, how to come up with a maintenance schedule, how to come up with a refueling plan for a long-haul flight cross Pacific. That's using a lot of statistical model, survival reliability model to do that. And if you want to, work for banking industry or, stock market, right? You hold certain stocks, hold and hold and hold. When is the right time to say no more? I'm gonna clean them, or I'm gonna, buy or sell at certain options at certain points. If you go look, they don't call that in finance conditional value at risk. They call it expected shortfall. And if you check the ES, expected shortfall, look at the equations, exactly the same as CVAR, okay? I consider, this class is show you how to abuse statistics, how to abuse probability and optimization to model human decision, okay? Okay, have a good one. I will announce that homework after the, and yep. For that 1 page, next Thursday, just bring it in. I'm gonna collect the paper copy, okay? And for those students, please sign up your names so I know the attendance. Yep.
Will the assignment be posted as I know we turn it in on in class, but will it be posted online?
Yeah. I know you always ask that.
I know, I have to check.
How about this? You write it down for me. Then I'll post your version for me. Yeah. Okay, 1 page, no more than 500 words.
Okay.
And why you think this class is useful to your future, in what way, okay? And maybe add 2 more questions. So what? Who cares? Same thing. And why? Well, it's true, right? How many courses you took before? At the end, you kind of like, so what? Who cares? I don't get anything out of this. And I would like you to think, what do you want to get out of this? And I'll read that and then probably cover some of the things you're interested in and show you, at least show you where you can get a similar material. Okay? Can you do that for me? Would you please? Yeah. That way, I have a version. I know at least that's what you hear. Okay. Well, oh, by the way, her name is Victoria. She took my DOE and what's the other class? Yeah, human. And she's always giving me headaches. No, she's got very good grades, and I trust, if she recorded, it's what I actually cover in the class. Okay? Okay. Have a good one. Thank you. No, I didn't.